What if I told you that right now, sitting quietly inside someone's pocket change, there could be a tiny silver treasure worth more than most people's yearly salary? A coin so rare that even seasoned collectors whisper about it in hushed tones. A quarter that could turn an ordinary person into a legend in the numismatic world. Today on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we're diving deep into the hidden vault of America's most valuable and ultra-rare quarter dollars. These are not just coins, they are the silent witnesses of time, history, and fortune. Stay glued till the end, because what you are about to discover could be hiding inside your old change jar right now. Each of these 5 coins carries a story of mystery, rarity, and unimaginable worth. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single second. We begin with a coin so striking, so unusually toned, it looks like it has been kissed by shadows and history itself. Coin number 1. When you first look at the 1957 with D. Washington quarter, you might see just another old coin. But then the light hits it and something magical happens. That deep smoky black shade gleams back at you like an ancient gemstone buried beneath decades of history. Minted at the Denver Mint, this quarter was born in an era when America stood tall, rebuilding its dreams after the war. The D Mint mark below Washington's wreath wasn't just a letter, it was a mark of craftsmanship, pride, and perfection. Most of these 1957 with D quarters circulated, jangled in pockets, spent on gum and gasoline until they vanished into time. But a few, and incredibly few, developed that mysterious black shade toning. Collectors call it the midnight mirror finish. Some say it was caused by a rare chemical reaction during storage. Others whisper it was a unique batch of planchets, the blank metal discs used to mint coins. Whatever the cause, the effect was mesmerizing. The silver and copper alloy blended into a hauntingly beautiful contrast, a dark, lustrous hue that set it apart from every ordinary coin of its time. And here's where things get wild. This black shade wasn't a defect, it was destiny. Because collectors now see it as one of the most visually stunning errors ever to come out of the 1950s mint era. It's not just a coin. It's a relic that tells a story, a survivor of minting anomalies, oxidation, and time itself. Every curve of Washington's face, every edge of that reeded border, carries a touch of mystery. The way it catches light feels alive, almost like the coin is breathing history. But what makes the 1957 with D truly ultra-rare isn't just its look, it's the condition. Because finding one in fine condition, where every line is crisp, the luster still dances under the light, and that black shade remains untouched, is like striking gold in your own backyard. Collectors hunt for decades to find one that is perfect. Auctions go silent when it appears. Dealers whisper its name like a secret. And when it hits the block, it turns heads, drops jaws, and makes history. You're not just holding a coin anymore, you're holding a time capsule. It's a connection to 1957, a year when Elvis ruled the charts, when chrome cars gleamed across American highways, and when this little piece of silver was struck in the heart of Denver, unknowingly destined to become a legend. The 1957 with D black shade quarters composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, a blend that gave it both brilliance and strength. But silver changes with time. It reacts with air, with moisture, with storage materials, and sometimes, just sometimes, it transforms into something extraordinary. That's what happened here. The black shade isn't dirt or damage, it's chemistry turned to art. Now here's the part that will blow your mind. One of these coins in fine condition, just like the one we're talking about, recently shocked the collector world with its sale price. When the gavel dropped, this tiny piece of 1957 silver fetched an unbelievable $152,000. Yes, you heard that right. A quarter dollar, just 25 cents face value, now worth more than a life-changing fortune. And experts say its value is climbing. Day by day, year by year, as fewer examples remain and collector demand surges, this coin's market value is expected to soar. Don't take that as fantasy. This is reality unfolding in real time. We're witnessing history, appreciating before our eyes. So if you ever come across a 1957 quarter with a D Mint mark and a deep, mysterious black toning, don't spend it. Don't clean it. Don't even breathe on it too hard. Protect it like a royal gem, because you might just be holding one of the most valuable treasures ever to slip through modern hands. Collectors call it a dream find. Investors call it a miracle of numismatics. I call it a once-in-a-lifetime key to fortune. Remember, the coin market is alive, it breathes, it evolves. And treasures like this only get rarer with time. So keep your eyes open, your change jar safe, and your curiosity sharp, because the next legendary coin could be hiding right under your nose. And if you love stories like this, true American treasures hidden in plain sight, make sure you subscribe right now. Because Rare US Coin Secrets brings you fresh daily updates straight from the collector's vault. Coin number 2. Now, before we move to the next treasure, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a modern coin, maybe just a plain 1990s quarter, and thought, this can't be worth anything special? That's what everyone thought, until 1996 with P gray layer quarter appeared. At first glance, it looks simple. A little worn, a little tired. The gray layer gives it a subtle, smoky look, almost ghostly. But behind that innocent surface lies one of the most mysterious and shocking mint stories of the 1990s. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, the P mark standing proudly beneath Washington's portrait, this coin was struck during an era of mechanical precision when errors were supposed to be impossible. But fate had other plans. Somewhere in the minting line, a rare anomaly occurred. Experts believe a thin bonding defect between the copper and nickel layers caused the coin's surface to oxidize unevenly. Over time, it developed this haunting gray layer tone. Not bright, not dull, but a matte metallic mist, unlike anything else in circulation. Collectors started whispering about it in the early 2000s. A few lucky hunters stumbled upon these grayish, shadow-toned quarters and sent them for grading. The results? Astonishing. Each coin's luster was alive, different, like the metal was frozen mid-reaction. The toning was natural, yet looked intentional, like the mint accidentally created art. And here's the real beauty. The 1996 with P quarter carries the same proud design as the classic Washington series with a composition of copper-nickel clad over a copper core. Nothing fancy on paper. Yet somehow, chemistry, air, and time teamed up to make it one of the most sought-after modern errors of the late 20th century. And collectors, oh, they love these unexpected miracles. Because this coin doesn't just represent a mistake, it represents chance itself. The kind of once-in-a-lifetime flaw that turns an everyday object into an artifact of destiny. The P mint mark, standing for Philadelphia, became a silent signature of rarity. Because out of millions of 1996 quarters, only a handful exhibit this exact mysterious gray layering. And if you think that sounds small, you're right. So small, in fact, that experts estimate fewer than a dozen examples exist in fine or better condition today. Every single one of them is considered a ghost coin, appearing suddenly in the collector's market and vanishing just as quickly. They don't stay on sale long. They don't sit in auctions. They disappear into private collections, sealed, protected, and treasured. And when they do appear, they change lives. One recently sold at a major United States coin auction for a jaw-dropping $80,500. Yes, you heard that correctly. A 1996 quarter, a coin younger than most people watching this video, valued higher than a hidden fortune. This isn't hype. This isn't fiction. This is real market momentum, and it's growing faster than anyone expected. Because here's what's happening right now. Modern era coins are exploding in demand. Collectors are turning their eyes from the ancient silvers to the strange, rare mistrikes of the 80s and 90s. The market is shifting, and coins like the 1996 with P gray layer are leading the charge. So if you ever find a 1996 quarter with that smoky, almost satin gray surface, look closer. Check for the P mint mark. See if the layers seem slightly fused or uneven. Because if they are, you might be holding a coin that defies explanation and defines fortune. Imagine that a simple pocket coin that carries decades of mystery, chemistry, and hidden value. That's the power of numismatics, the art of discovery, the thrill of finding beauty in imperfection. My collector tip for you? When hunting for 1990s quarters, pay special attention to the texture and tone. The gray layer effect isn't shiny, it's subtle, almost velvety. You'll know it when you see it. And when you do, guard it carefully. Because these coins aren't just valuable, they're disappearing faster than ever. Today, the 1996 with P gray layer quarter stands as a symbol of modern rarity. A whisper from the mint. A silent phantom of the past 3 decades. So the next time you flip through your spare change, don't just look for the old. Look for the strange. Because sometimes rarity hides not in age, but in the unexpected. And remember, every day, right here on Rare US Coin Secrets, we uncover hidden treasures, fresh market updates, and shocking discoveries that most people will never know exist. Subscribe, stay tuned, and keep your eyes sharp because tomorrow's update might just reveal your fortune in disguise. Coin number 3. It was the first full year after World War II. America was breathing again, rebuilding, dreaming, shining with hope. But in the quiet halls of the Philadelphia Mint, something unusual happened. Out of millions of quarters struck in 1946, a handful emerged wearing strange, smoky gray spots, as if history itself had left fingerprints on their silver faces. No mint mark, no warning, just a simple Washington quarter carrying the weight of a nation's rebirth and a mystery that still baffles collectors today. The 1946 Washington quarter was produced only at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time used no mint mark. Fresh off wartime production, the Mint was retooling its presses, recalibrating alloys, and returning to civilian coinage. These quarters were meant to be ordinary, 90% silver, 10% copper, simple, strong, American. But buried in that year's production was a batch that aged differently. Over decades, a unique surface reaction began to appear. Faint gray patches, sometimes circular, sometimes mist-like, ghosting across Washington's cheek, his hairline, and the eagle's wings. Metallurgists believe it may have come from a rare cooling process flaw. Microscopic moisture trapped between layers of the silver alloy right after striking. When exposed to time and air, it blossomed into that haunting spotted tone collectors now call the gray ghost effect. Most 1946 quarters have bright silver faces, shiny, clean, predictable, but not this one. The gray-spotted quarter catches the light like aged smoke. Each patch of toning looks deliberate, almost painted by time itself. No two are identical. Every piece tells its own chemical love story between silver and air. And because these marks form naturally and only on a microscopic fraction of the original mintage authentic examples are exceedingly rare. How rare? So rare that even lifelong dealers have never seen one in person. For decades, the 1946 no mint mark gray spot quarter was a rumor whispered at coin shows. A few photographs surfaced, grainy, unconfirmed. Then, in the 2010s, authenticated specimens finally appeared, graded fine condition by Top US. Services. The result, shockwaves. Collectors who specialized in post-war silver suddenly had a new white whale. Search lists went viral across forums. Treasure hunters began scouring rolls, flea markets, and estate boxes. Each time one surfaced, it vanished into private hands almost instantly. These coins don't circulate. They disappear. Beneath the mystery, this quarter remains a classic Washington. 24.3 millimeters diameter, 90% silver, 10% copper, reading still crisp along the edge. But those gray spots, they transform it. Under a loupe, they shimmer like smoke over water. It's as if the coin has its own atmosphere, a living patina that refuses to fade. No modern minting process could ever replicate it. Nature alone wrote that design. And now the number that turns heads, drops jaws, and sets collector hearts racing. One of these 1946 gray-spotted beauties, no mint mark, fine condition, recently stunned the auction world with a realized price of $165,000. Yes, a $250 that's become a treasure chest in your palm. This isn't rumor, it's fact. The market for naturally toned and error-aged silver quarters has exploded, and experts insist that prices are still rising. Every month, demand outpaces supply. So if you think you've seen a 1946 without a mint mark showing subtle gray spotting, don't dismiss it. Don't polish it. Handle it like a holy artifact. You might just be holding a six-figure miracle. When searching for these coins, look for natural toning, gray patches that blend smoothly into the metal, not sharp stains or chemical damage. Examine the fields and devices under soft light. Authentic gray layering has depth, a velvet texture you can almost feel. Stored in temperature-stable holders, no PVC, no air exposure. Because the beauty of this coin lies in that natural aging and preserving, it means protecting its future value. The 1946 no mint mark gray spots quarter isn't just a collector's item. It's a ghost from America's rebirth, a symbol of imperfection turned to art, a tiny piece of metal that defied time and expectation. Its story reminds us that great treasures don't always shine bright, sometimes they whisper in gray. And with a current market value of $165,000, climbing steadily as the years pass, this coin is proof that history can still make you rich overnight. This isn't fantasy, it's the living truth of numismatic passion. So keep looking, keep dreaming, Because somewhere out there in an old jar or grandparents' drawer, one of these gray-spotted ghosts may be waiting for you. And remember, here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, I bring you fresh daily updates from the hidden world of rare treasures. Subscribe, stay curious, and maybe next time we will uncover your fortune. Coin number 4. Every coin tells a story, but some stories are final chapters. 1964, the year the silver era came to an end. The year America's quarters changed forever. And out of that last silver mintage rose one coin so haunting, so mysterious, that collectors call it the final silver shadow. The 1964 quarter without a mint mark, born in Philadelphia, cloaked in a mesmerizing black layer, shining like midnight itself. This is not just another quarter. This is the last breath of silver history and one of the most stunning anomalies ever to slip through the hands of the U.S. Mint. 1964 was chaos at the mint. Demand for quarters had exploded. Americans were hoarding silver coins, terrified that rising prices would soon make them disappear. And they were right, because after 1964, silver was gone from U.S. Quarters forever replaced with copper and nickel. But before that change in those final frantic months, millions of 90% silver quarters were struck. And in that storm of production, something remarkable happened. A microscopic metallurgical reaction. Perhaps the mix of humidity, heat, and the final batch of planchettes produced a rare black layer effect on a few coins. The result was breathtaking, a shadowy tone that blanketed the surface like liquid obsidian. Under the right light, the coin doesn't shine, it glows. A deep metallic mirror of history, holding secrets from the last true silver run. Most 1964 quarters look bright, shiny, even common. But the black layer versions, they are almost mythical. Numismatists estimate fewer than 20 verified examples have ever been authenticated in extra fine condition. That's right, out of hundreds of millions minted, barely a handful survived in this haunting form. And no one, not even the mint historians, can agree on exactly why. Some claim it is the result of unusual toning from old coin bags stored for decades. Others believe a trace element from a final silver batch caused a natural darkening, unlike anything before or since. Whatever the truth, the effect is unmistakable, that rich, dark surface that collectors describe as moonlit black. It is not damage. It's not dirt. It's natural, elegant, and utterly unique. There's something poetic about this coin. It's from 1964, the end of an age, and yet it carries a look that feels eternal. The black layer dances around Washington's profile, wrapping the past in mystery. The details are still sharp, his curls, his gaze, the eagle's wings stretched wide across the reverse. It's a paradox, dark yet gleaming, old yet timeless. Collectors who have seen one in person describe it as mesmerizing, even spiritual. It's not just a coin, it's the mint's final silver heartbeat captured in metal. Now, you already know what is coming. Because when rarity meets beauty and history meets mystery, the market ignites. At a recent private auction, a verified 1964 no-mint mark black layer quarter graded extra fine condition sold for an astonishing $146,000. Yes, $146,000 for a single quarter. But here's the twist. Collectors are saying this is just the beginning. This coin represents the end of silver coinage in America. That's not just history, that's legacy. And legacy drives value higher every single year. Experts predict that as the silver era coins become scarcer, this particular 1964 variant could double in value. Not in decades, in years. Don't take this as a collector's fantasy. This is the truth of a market alive with hunger for history. And this coin sits at the very top of that storm. If you're hunting for one, remember, 1964 quarters without mint marks come only from Philadelphia. Look for the deep gray to black tone that covers most of the surface but leaves the details crisp and readable. Under angled light, you will see a subtle gradient, dark at the edges, silvery toward the center. That's the hallmark of authenticity. Never clean it. Never polish it. The black layer is what gives it life. Remove that and you erase its fortune. Seal it in a protective case, store it away from sunlight, and let time do the rest. Because every passing day makes it rarer and more desirable. The 1964 no-mint mark black layer quarter stands as a living paradox, a coin from the past that's growing in power today. It's the last whisper of silver America. A coin that carries the end of one age and the beginning of another. And with its haunting black surface and history-soaked soul, it's no wonder it now commands prices of $146,000 and climbing. That's not just luck. That's destiny in your pocket. So if you ever find a 1964 quarter that looks darker, deeper, more mysterious than the rest, stop everything. You might just be holding the final silver shadow, one of the most valuable pieces of post-war U.S. coinage ever known. Keep your eyes open. Keep your coins safe. And remember, here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we bring you the truth, the legends, and the treasures still hiding in plain sight. Subscribe now and join the hunt, because the next story might just change the way you look at every coin in your hand. Coin number 5. It's the early 1980s. Reagan is in office, the economy is surging, and the Denver Mint is striking millions of quarters every single day. Everyone looks the same, bright nickel-silver faces flashing under fluorescent light, except one. One tiny group of 1983 quarters left Denver wearing strange, rust-brown freckles across their silver skin. Collectors would later nickname them the Bronze Phantoms. And those freckles? They would rewrite modern minting history. 1983 was a pressure year for the mint. The country had gone 2 years without official mint sets, meaning no special collector strikes, only business circulation coins. Denver's presses ran hot around the clock. Somewhere in that heat, chemical residue from cleaning vats mixed with the copper core of the planchettes. The reaction created faint brown oxidation that seeped through the nickel layer, leaving irregular specks of bronze that never should have been there. At first glance, the coins looked stained, but under magnification, the pattern shimmered organic, artistic, impossible to replicate. Those brown spots weren't damaged, they were the coin's birthmark. The 1983 with D quarters clad 75% copper, 25% nickel over a pure copper core. Normally it is silver gray, bright, and uniform. But these anomaly pieces, they show streaks of chestnut and honey, almost like thin smoke rising through the metal. Under soft light, the surfaces pulse with warmth, Washington's portrait framed by a subtle bronze halo. It's industrial alchemy, accident meeting chemistry, creating beauty no artist planned. For nearly 20 years, no one cared. People spent them, dropped them, forgot them. Then a sharp-eyed collector in Colorado noticed one inside a bankroll. He sent it for grading, and the coin world stopped. Experts confirmed the oxidation was mint-created, not environmental. That single verdict turned a 25-cent piece into a national mystery. Soon, collectors began tearing through 1983 rolls, desperate to find another. Most found nothing. A few found damaged coins. Only a handful found the genuine brown-spotted Denver issue. To this day, population reports count fewer than 10 authenticated specimens in almost fine or better condition. That's microscopic rarity in modern coinage. When one of these coins finally hit a public sale, the bidding war was electric. Hands shot up. Phones buzzed. And when the hammer fell, that unassuming 1983 with D quarter had reached a record auction figure reported near $95,500. Yes, a modern-day quarter from the age of cassette tapes and arcades, now commanding a price worthy of a museum showcase. And the story isn't finished. Since that headline sale, every appearance has pushed the ceiling higher. Collectors sense that the 1983 with D is not just a curiosity. It's the dawn of a new era in modern error investing. As older silver rarities tighten, fresh demand floods into these late 20th century marvels. Prices are climbing quietly but relentlessly. If you're hunting for one, look first for the D below Washington's wreath. That's Denver. Then tilt the coin under warm light. True examples show soft, organic brown toning, never sharp lines or corrosion pits. The surface will look smooth, almost waxy. And remember, never clean it. Never fix the color. That brown veil is this coin's soul and its proof of origin. Store it in inert plastic or an airtight capsule. Temperature changes can darken the pattern even more beautifully over time. The 1983 with D brown spotted quarter is more than an error. It's a whisper from the modern minting age. Proof that even in an era of machines and precision, chance still has a hand in creation. It stands today as a symbol of mystery, chemistry, and value. A coin that transformed an everyday object into a legend. And with a verified auction price approaching 6 figures and collector enthusiasm still rising, this bronze phantom remains one of the most intriguing treasures of late-century America. So the next time you see a 1983 quarter with a D mint mark and a hint of bronze breathing through the silver, Pause. Look closer, because fortune doesn't always shine. Sometimes it rusts beautifully. That's the finale of today's hunt, but the search never ends. Subscribe to Rare U.S. Coin Secrets for brand new discoveries, fresh collector stories, and the hidden truths behind America's most mysterious money every single day. Until next time, keep your change jar close and your eyes sharper than ever.